Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to follow up real quick on my friend Representative Elzey's question on rape kits. I can't help but think that after hearing the testimony from the previous panel, particularly from the standpoint that there are so many crimes that are not prosecuted because there's a lack of evidence, that maybe you should know the answer to rape kit availability. That seems quite obvious to me, having dealt with this issue in North Carolina, and we should all know the answer to rape kit availability. That's the cornerstone of the evidence that would be needed for prosecution in so many cases. Mr. Newland, I think that you made a point a while ago that really, to me, encompasses the crux of the problem here. And that is when you said that we should put tribes in the driver's seat for investigating and prosecuting the crimes. And that really was the pretense of a question I asked the previous panel. It seems to me like it would be in the best interest, and nobody would be more motivated in investigating and prosecuting these types of crimes than the tribes who are affected most by such criminal acts. I'd like to put, and we've heard lots of folks' names mentioned here today. I'd like to put a face to a name, and that's the lady over my left shoulder here. This is Cheyenne Toyanita of the Wolftown community of the Eastern Band of the Cherokee Reservation that was murdered in Nashville, Tennessee, 3 days before Christmas in 2015. She was found on the ground in front of a friend's house. After her friend helped her inside, Cheyenne said that her ribs hurt, and then she became unresponsive. Police reports suggest that she may have been injured during an altercation with a man just days before her death, and it was determined that she died of blunt force trauma to her torso. The police have investigated her death as a homicide. And as we near Christmas this year, almost 9 years later, her murder has not been solved. The Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians stepped in to offer a $20,000 reward for any person that provides information that leads to an arrest and conviction of Cheyenne's death. The family of Cheyenne Toyanita, including her 3 daughters, are still mourning her loss. They've had difficulty in getting information about the investigation from local police, and it wasn't until Cheyenne's aunt, Brenda Toyanita Pipestem, a justice on the Cherokee Supreme Court, contacted former Senator Bill Frist of Tennessee for help. And communication at that point improved. Cheyenne is recognized as one of 23 missing and murdered indigenous women among the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. And so, in connecting this face and this crime to your statement earlier, my question is, how might we go about putting tribes in charge of, or in the driver's seat of investigating and prosecuting such cases that are alleged to be off of tribal boundaries?
Thank you, Congressman, and thank you also for advocating for your constituents and telling the stories of the actual people who are harmed by this. By affirming tribal jurisdiction and the ability of tribes to take control over public safety on their own reservations, what that does is it frees up the ability of the Department of Justice, the BI's Missing and Murdered Unit, to coordinate with other agencies off the reservation for these cases that cross over tribal and sometimes state boundaries. Because what we have right now in places where there is clear federal jurisdiction is we have U.S. attorneys, effectively serving as local prosecutors. And the investigation teams that support that, doing local police work. And it takes away from their ability to handle these cases. So this is another area where by putting the local stuff in the hands of the local government, in this case the tribe, like we would anywhere else, will then allow the federal government to do what it's really good at and what its real mission is, which is to coordinate these complex cases that go across reservation and state boundaries.